What's up guys, it's your boy Tomato coming at you with another RedTube video. So I've already attempted to make this once today, and I guess because my face was out of the frame and I really didn't do very much of a good job anyway, and I'm trying to produce some better content now, I'm just redoing it because it's not that hard of a thing to talk about. So, Saturday I had a jiu-jitsu competition in Orange Beach, which is in Alabama for those of you who don't live here. And I told myself whether I performed well or not that I would make a video about it. I would say that I did not perform well, or I performed below my expectations, but it's no big deal because it was my first competition and I didn't really expect that I would be the best on the mats anyway. So I asked my friend that I went with if he would record some of the matches, and he did. So yeah, I didn't win any of my matches, which is disappointing, but it was also my first competition and I didn't see anybody there who I faced that they said it was their first competition. And it's a lot different. When you practice in the gym, it's a lot slower and it takes a lot less strength. And then there's also the nerves to take in, because my first match, as soon as I stepped out there, I didn't think it would happen, but I pretty much just forgot everything, because the first thing that happened was the guy just grabbed grips on both hands and I just couldn't think at all of how to break it. And then until he took me down, which I dodged a lot of takedowns because he didn't have a good stand-up, and he decided to make up for that with grabbing those grips. And of course, me being so nervous about it, I couldn't think of what I was supposed to do. And then eventually, whenever he did take me down, I actually just let him take me down. I pretended like he tripped me, but I really could have dodged it like I dodged the rest of them, because I wanted to get to the ground eventually. And when we did get to the ground, I performed okay. I actually ended up sweeping him. I really didn't perform very well, but it all really had to do with just this massive change of pace that comes with doing jiu-jitsu in a competition. Because I've always performed well in the gym, and that's because I'm a quick learner and I learn these techniques well. I've never been the guy that puts all of his strength when we're in the gym and just completely kills himself in the dojo, or whatever you want to call it, not the actual weightlifting gym, but because I do put obviously all of my strength into the actual gym whenever I go, which I barely am on that schedule anymore. When we're practicing in the jiu-jitsu gym, I'm not the guy that likes to hurt their teammates, because we're all part of a team. We're all trying to do good for our school. I don't want to keep them from being able to get better by damaging them, so I don't go crazy hard or anything. But I do need to pick up my pace a little bit and do whatever I can to work on my grip strength, because after the first match, as soon as we started and he got those grips, and then I went to the ground and I just kind of grabbed grips, and I could hear my coach saying it, let go of those. They weren't doing me any good. The grips weren't doing me any good. And I ended up using all my grip strengths, holding on to grips that weren't helping. And so all the other matches, my forearms were just completely dead. The only thing that kept me going was adrenaline, kept me in every match, and I really couldn't tell that I was destroying myself. I remember it scared me one time. This guy had me in a super tight armbar, and I didn't feel it at all because my adrenaline was rushing so much I didn't feel anything. And so I was just tapped, because I was like, if I don't tap, I'm gonna have a broken arm. So I guess the main question probably would be why I look like a tomato. For me, whenever I go to a place with a lot of sun, it's a place where you're known to get sunburned. If you're looking for a tan, you go to the beach. But I don't tan. I actually sometimes get tan on my neck. There's certain places where I'll get a little tan, but I never actually tan, and I always just terribly burn. And you would think after I went to the beach last summer and I got 10 times worse of a sunburn. I was shaking all the time. I didn't want to go outside. I stayed there for a week, got sunburned the first day, and then I barely wanted to go outside again, even though I forced myself to. It was definitely the worst sunburn I ever had, but the feeling was just the worst feeling I've ever had. Except for it's actually almost just as bad, because yesterday it wasn't even bad. Then I come home, I take off my shirt, and I think that I could get in the shower, and as soon as I take off my shirt, I just start shaking uncontrollably, violently too. But I mean, the trip was great. Going to the beach was obviously fun because I don't get to do it much, and literally my first time going to the beach was last summer. And I enjoy the beach just because of how peaceful it is, and it's a nice change of scenery compared to where I am, which is just like a small town in Alabama, which is not very exciting. But yeah, I missed school today because literally every time I touch my face, I don't even want to do it. Every time I touch my face, it feels like needles poking into my skin. It's the worst I've ever had. And every time I'm not gonna try to take a shower until this is like calmed down a little bit, because if I get into a colder temperature, like slightly below room temperature, then I'll just start shaking again, and it's one of like the worst, because I just can't stop. And it's so other than the trip, I really didn't have much else I wanted to talk about. I still have a video that I wanted to make still, but this seemed more fitting because I literally just got back, and so if I would have made it later, it wouldn't have made sense to talk about it. So I just wanted to go ahead and make this, and I'll always be able to make that video because it's not time specific or anything. So I really love the lighting that I was able to have this video, and I wish I could do it again and more often because it looks significantly. I missed school today because of this, and so it's like 2 o'clock, or it's 1 o'clock. It's like 2 o'clock right now, and so the lighting outside is really good, and I just opened my window. But on a usual day, I wouldn't get home until like 3, and the likelihood of me being able to record a video as soon as I get home is very unlikely. Just being, I like to settle in and get comfortable before I try to make a video. Round 4. So yeah, the jiu-jitsu tournament was fun, and I definitely want to go to another competition as soon as I can, because now I've learned a lot of stuff that I can go into the gym and work on. Definitely it was worth the amount of money that we paid for it. It wasn't particularly too much. It was only $100 for the competition, but the fact that it was 5 hours away did make the hotel costs obviously be a little much. But any other opportunities that I get to go to a competition, I'll want to take, because it's a great experience to up my game. It's like I learned enough in that competition to beat a month of jiu-jitsu practice by itself, which I think it's like getting like champion status on For Honor. It's like more experience. It's like, it's not that makes up for jiu-jitsu practice, but you now have something that you can go in, and when you practice, you know exactly what you need to do to get better, and you know the weak points of your game. And especially me getting to record it, I saw a lot of important stuff to practice. One thing I know I actually need to do is start getting back in the gym, because my forearm strength was just incredibly weak and my cardio was weak. But other than that, there's nothing else to talk about. Never going to the beach again in my life, hopefully, because I just don't belong outside. This was a sign from God that I need to stay inside, play video games for the rest of my life, because anytime I'll ever go to the beach, I'll just die. Like, even with sunscreen, I wore sunscreen at the beach before. Last time I went, I wore sunscreen some of the time. I still get sunburned. It's disgusting. It's my blood, honestly. It's my race, Native American and Irish. Because every other thing I looked up about people having the same symptoms of their sunburn as me, with the hyperventilating and shaking, they were Irish and Native American. I think, if I'm not mistaken, my friend who also got really bad sunburn is Irish and Native American. I just don't belong at the beach. I mean, I love everything about it. I love how peaceful it is and how fun it is. I'm just not meant to go there. So other than that, there's not much to talk about. I updated, like, whatever it's called, my channel art. Me and my friends were just over at another friend's house, and I saw a good place to take that picture, and I thought it'd be cool. Hopefully as time goes on, I'll get some better quality camera and stuff, and I can make my pictures look better, because that was just done with my phone camera, which is also what I record face cam with. And as soon as possible, I hope to upgrade my face cam. And after I get a face cam, hopefully I'll get a mic. I'm really wanting to upgrade my quality, but I also know that quality doesn't matter when you have like 25 subscribers, which I'm growing at a slow pace, but at least I'm not dying. At least I'm not like just losing subscribers, which would be okay, because I don't know, I'm just going on to other things. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. So that's the video, I guess. There's not much to talk about, so I'll just get out of here. Honestly, like, I'm just gonna leave. What are you doing, Ladder? Hey! See you later.